Welcome to my channel Online Biology Tutorials. In this live of today, I will be reading chapter number 1, The Ever Evolving World of Science, taken from the Curiosity book used for class 7 science. So, as the screen is clear to you, let's begin with the reading. We hope you enjoyed your adventures with Curiosity in grade 6 and are now ready to continue our journey into the wonderful world of science. This again is not just a textbook with facts, it is an invitation to question, to perform experiments, and to explore as we try to understand the beautiful world we live in. The world of science covers everything, small and large, near and far. We may be looking at tiny cells inside a leaf or the movement of the sun and the stars. We may be testing out the materials around us at home or discussing how water flows underground. As you go through the chapters in this book, you will start new adventures that challenge your thinking, expand your knowledge, and help you become an explorer, making small discoveries for yourself. Before we dive into our exciting journey, take a moment to observe something special about this book. Look at the page numbers, they follow the playful flight of a butterfly and the soaring of a paper plane. Just as the butterfly flutters freely and a paper plane flies into the sky, learning takes flight when curiosity leads the way. Did you know that something as simple as a paper plane inspired real scientific explorations of flight? From early inventors studying bird wings to modern engineers designing aircraft, the dream of flying started with simple observations and experiments. So, as you turn each page, let your imagination take flight, exploring new ideas, discovering wonders, and reaching for the skies. Exploration, of course, isn't just about discovering new facts or learning about different things in nature. Science, as we said in grade 6, is a process. So it is about a way of thinking and thinking that welcomes curiosity, asks questions, and is open to the unknown. In grade 7, we will try to ask deeper questions. How do things work? Why do events happen the way they do? And what can we learn from the patterns that we see in nature? To do this, we have to step out of this book, step out of the classroom perhaps, and experience the world through activities and experiments. These are experiences that we hope will not just be interesting or exciting, but also serve as stepping stones to a deeper understanding of the environment we live in and of our place on this planet. We begin that this will also help you to see science as an ongoing process of discovery and not just about discovery alone, but also about responsibility. As young science explorers, you will soon see how human activities are linked to what happens in the natural world and are connected to the society we live in. You will, we hope, also see the role that science can play in addressing environmental challenges and help in creating a more sustainable world. But let's get back into this book for now. You will read about topics in different fields of science, from physics and chemistry to biology and earth sciences. While they might appear as different chapters, just as we had said in grade 6, they are all interconnected. Scientific ideas in one area often inspire discoveries in another, or at least allow us to ask questions in another area. So, let's take a quick journey through our book for this year. We will start by looking at the properties of materials around us, mostly the things we experience, but perhaps never ask questions about. Why are some fruits so? What happens when we wash a haldi stain on our school uniform? We then move on and play with some electric batteries, lamps, and wires to try to find other kinds of materials. Do we need to make a lamp glow? This will lead us to classifying materials based on their properties, and we will enter the world of metals and non-metals. We know from our experience that a torch battery runs out eventually and cannot be used again. We will explore what kind of changes happen around us. Some changes can be reversed and others cannot be reversed. Batteries run out, ice melts into water, fruits ripen, rocks break into pebbles. What kind of changes are these? Some of these happen or happen faster when things are heated. We will look at how heat flows, whether it is melting of a ice cube in a glass or the melting of a glacier. Water is of course everywhere, and with the heat from the sun, it evaporates from the sea and falls as rain, perhaps trickling down into the ground somewhere far away. However, it isn't just changes in materials around us that we see, or the hidden changes in water that we do not see. As we are growing, our bodies are changing as well. Especially around the middle school years, our bodies are changing rapidly. Why? Not just as humans, they are life processes that are essential to all the organisms for their survival. To grow, we have to eat and breathe. Blood has to circulate the nutrients from the food all over the body, and so on. But why animals alone? Don't plants also need food to grow? How do they get their food? Do they also breathe? How? Over the time that life has evolved on our planet Earth, it has figured out how to do this in a beautiful and a carefully balanced way. What but what is the time? The clock on the wall or a wristwatch tells us the time and how it passes. We get prepared to go to school in the morning and are ready to sleep at night. But have you thought about how we measure time and how fast does something happen? Long before the age of electric clocks and digital watches, early humans observed the shadows of objects in the sun and used the position of the shadows to tell the time. Light and shadows are not just useful for shadow puppets or to tell the time. Naturally, light helps us see, and today we have developed a lot of ways to generate light so we can read a book at night even when the sun doesn't shine. But most importantly, asking questions about the nature of light has given us a very deep understanding of the universe we live in. While we will perhaps learn about it only later, light and shadows are not just limited to things around us at home. Even the Earth and the Moon can cast shadows, leading to the fascinating phenomena of eclipses. And of course, we have day and night that depend on receiving light from the sun. To understand all of this, we need to know how the Earth rotates around its axis, how the Moon goes around the Earth, and the Earth around the sun, and the consequences of these movements on life on our beautiful planet. While all this might have your head spinning, think about it. Isn't it amazing that we humans can wonder about the wonderful world we live in? In the chapters that follow, you will also make simple observations and do fun experiments and dive into topics that need careful thinking. Each chapter builds on what you already know and encourages you to ask questions, explore, do hands on experiment, and think like a scientist. As you will find out, even those experiments that seem to confirm what we think will happen might lead to some additional questions that might need more experiments and more questions. Happy exploring. Activity 1.1. Question the answer. In school or during tests, you are actually given questions and expected to find answers. But let's turn that around. To think like a scientist, it is equally important to ask interesting questions. Great scientists don't just answer questions, they ask amazing ones. Remember, last year we had said to be a wise person, you must be a wise person. Look at the answers below. Your task is to come up with a curious, creative, and a fun question or situations that could lead to these answers. There are never any wrong questions, so let your imagination run wild. Since Such exercises might not be very familiar. Here is an example to help you. Suppose the answer was just make it half. What all could this be a response to? Well, it could range from how do we ensure getting equal shares of cake to my essay is too long or I can't fit in the envelope or even I cannot dance to such a long song. All very different. So let's see what kind of creative questions you can ask. So the answers are being given to you and you have to frame the question to the answer. Just add some milk. Another answer given to you is because the cat's teeth were crooked. Next, don't panic, I have my towel. So answer 42 is given on page number 42. Please ask a more interesting and not obvious questions like what is 32 plus 10 or even what is the answer to life, universe and everything, right? So we are done with the introductory chapter of Curiosity Science book, the ever evolving world of science. So this was just the introductory what we will be doing by going through the book throughout the session. So catch you up in the second video. Stay connected. Thank you.